All right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. This is Mazan Ban Yashayala, coming out of the GMS Lions Den camp. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim out there around the four corners of the earth preaching this truth in sincerity, and the few Akwafyim that follow after their husbands, and also believing in the name of Yahweh, Yahushai, and the children that do also, man. Today I wanted to do a quick lesson on basically this video right here. In entrance, if I said it right, entrance is basically in Greece, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a protest over there. And it was riots, and it was it was riots, as you see right here in a memorial of a teen that was killed by a police officer. You know what I'm saying? Sound like stuff that's going on over here in America. Because you know Greece is a part of the 10 horns in Revelations of the Great Dragon, man. You know what I'm saying? It had 7 heads and 10 horns, and Greece was one of the horns. To let you know that this place over there in Greece is part of America, and America is a part of them. They are all part of the UN. You know what I'm saying? They are all part of NATO. They all play parts of this Babylon that's over here in America, man. They all play parts of it. They all have their hand in it, and you can clearly see that in this riot, once I show it, man, you're going to see nothing but a lot of Edomite-looking devils. But you know that in the midst of this confusion, it's going to be confusion of faces in there. And it's probably our people over there also. Well, the confusion of faces are our people. And you got, know the ones that just look like our people that's over there also, man. That's in the midst of this confusion. But this really showing you, man, that Satan's house is divided against each other. Because they bucking up against the government. Because if you a police officer, basically you're riding for the government. You basically security for the government, man, and you're doing everything they told you to do. And you see there's Edomites out there protesting too, man. That shows you that Esau's kingdom is divided against each other, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that scripture after I play this video. And I'm gonna end it with this, and man, and this just let you know, man, we in beautiful times right now, man. Everything's coming to pass. Everything's playing out like Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai said it will. So there you have it, man. You see that they was throwing Molotov cocktails at the rioting officers, man. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't playing. Just like in Second Ezra, it says that one people will stand up to fight against another people with swords in their hand. What's the meaning of the word sword? A killing instrument, an instrument of war. You know, a Molotov cocktail, that's an instrument of war, man. That's a killing instrument, because you can easily throw that thing on somebody and it'll burn them the hell up, man. So that's a killing instrument. So you got people rising up against one another, fighting against one another, man, and rioting. Just like it says in 2nd Ezra, and it also says in the book of St. Matthew, the 24th chapter, man. So let me read this precept, and I'm going to go ahead and end it with that, man. This is St. Mark, chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 23, and this is Yahushua speaking in the midst of the disciples and a couple of scribes, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of them. And he spoken to them into a parable, man. Okay, this is St. Mark, chapter 3, verse 23. And he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And that's a question mark, man. And that's what he asked the disciples, man. And that's the same thing in this case, man. You know what I'm saying? You got Edomites out there fighting against Edomites. So how can the devil cast out the devil? How can Satan cast out Satan, man? Verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Connor, you clearly see, you see Great Britain, you know what I'm saying? That was part of NATO. That was part of the EU. They have left the EU, man, and that was one of the greatest powerhouses in World War II that helped America, you know what I'm saying, win that war. Britain was one of the greatest power, one of their greatest allies, man, to help them win that war. They played the biggest role, Great Britain. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, the so-called white man, if your lineage goes back to the Caucasus Mountains, you know what I'm saying, where we get the word cave dwellers for, we all know the Edomites dwelt in Mount Seir, and they changed the name, you know, to the Caucasus Mountains, and so forth and so on, because that's what this devil does, man. He changed the times and the names of things, because that's what he did, man. He seeked to change the times into his own times, because he raised himself up as God, as the Most High, man. He basically said there ain't no God, so I'm gonna set myself up and do what I want to do. But you know that was his lot, man. They was fitted for destruction, man. He made the wicked for the day of vengeance. You know what I'm saying? Don't depart, just like he said in Romans 9. Don't the potter have power over the clay? He made one lump to honor and one lump to dishonor. And they the ones that they the lump to dishonor, man, and they did a lot of things to dishonor. All the things that they don't have done, man. They done against the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, man, and still doing to this day. Verse 26, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And that's what's going to happen, man. Clearly, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua already prophesied it to happen, man, that Satan was going to be loose for a little season. And he's going to be going out as a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour, because he know he has a short period of time. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been ruling this earth since the time of Alexander, man. Alexander the Great, who they call the Great. And wasn't nothing great about that devil. He was great in wickedness. And you know what I'm saying? And his people are still here. And that devil, reincarnation is real. So that devil is walking around somewhere on this earth. Because he say every man going to get accounted for his labor. Every man going to reap what they sow. You know what I'm saying? And how he's going to get his judgment if he's not back on here. So for y'all ones that don't believe in reincarnation. Okay, verse 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. And that's what they had. That's what one of the strategies that they have used to take down the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, our people, man. To take down the house of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? They entered to our house and divide and conquered, man. They used that against us. And that's the same technique that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to use against them, man. But, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to use us to divide and conquer them. He's going to do it himself. Because he used them as a whipping stick to whip us because we went off. That's the whole reason why we went into slavery in the transatlantic slave trade, man. They came over here for the Negroes that did. For the so-called Negro, for the so-called Jamaican and Haitian, man, they came over here on the ships, man. Because you know the southern, that's the southern tribe. But you know the northern tribe start, you know what I'm saying, with the so-called Puerto Ricans, the so-called Native Americans, you know, them so-called Latino tribes and the so-called Indian tribes, man. They was already over here. And you know, you can read about that in the book of 2nd Esdras. So with that, man, I hope this lesson was edifying, man. Because, you know, this thing is coming to an end, man. These devils trying to cast out each other, man. You see it with Donald Trump. You got some devils that's over here, some so-called white people that don't like Donald Trump and what he's doing with the country. But he ain't doing nothing but what this country been doing, man. Having forward mouth and talking stuff and very prideful. You know what I'm saying? That's what this country was built upon, man. Bloodshed. Negativity. That's all this country is. But you know, you got 2/3 of our people that's talking about they don't want to hear anything negative. Every time you hear something about this so-called white man and he tell you that he was a so-called hero, that's negative, because he wasn't, man. Yeah, he was the hero of being wicked. That was about it. So with that being said, man, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim out there around the four corners of the earth, preaching this truth in sincerity, and the few Akwafim that follow after their husbands are just believing in the name of Yahweh, Yahushua, and the children that do also, man. Shalom to the sincere man, and death to this wicked ass kingdom called America, which is spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, and the baby of Babylon, man, the great harlot, man.